Yemo akwaba.
Uni amejoso.
Na a friend is apom ti say you had ye na wia na bopa o na Ghana zo e.
Yeah, I think sanity weather no, but when say June July into na ya na so no okay or ha na weather na season but yes to me shut down to santi no. How so your sunny sa
We dey me fa enkomo we ensha se ntentem a o se a year tall debt hit a year 517 million despite paying a year Tema Oil a year debt recovery levy since 2003. Tema Oil refinery ho nsensem Ivan a kwan ben so pound or mine betimi aya e betimi nya full a year friend is saying benefit every a year Tema Oil refinery na yen konkobobo kasa ended the kasa bebre.
yeah, my mention what here for. I think the issue with Tor no has to do with commitment. And so we share the history of Tor. And the baby agent and ya. Adia bakwa Ghana mine various political leadership aba I deny Tor. A commitment. And the commitment, lack of commitment are possible because abaya quite clear say or bypass it all. Now we use other means to get crude. No way na a more beneficial to individuals who are involved in terms of pocket. And if that is the case, then there is no need to use that particular central way to do any refinery. Na akwakobasa no, and the history, the trajectory, I am so clearly a show. Growing up near say I said Tor edeka. Because if you are not operating to full capacity at the end of the day, obeying and I want to yawoka. Okota electricity bill and kasa because some of these are your friends a high industry where a dependent much on electricity in as a form. Afibeshia no so kasa oye adwuma no ntene ne ho nya light ne de we dan you consume and several other way ewo ho and a kana aboabo no ye kasa ye tua ye bagije taxes no by the end of the day money no nko because Tor na yesisi wo kwa menkroma pen so osi wo se Ghana ye nyanya oil kra no do hu nyansa see that particular refinery this see because of value addition utu pet fuel na you should be able to devise a way one kasa no betime add value to it. Won konkoton wasia kwakoto. Because enka Tor operate to full capacity bia enka what is going on at the international oil market and then you run Russia wine na se for no that particular hit no and kan yesa benya shock absorbers because your local refinery or ha oil no de yehia de anya hwe yetime a process a refine wa ha for our own use and the abasa na a world supply chain no and nema ekeka ho a edit those shocks na se for no ba no we are able to absorb na my that particular way. And even if we're able to refine, we can even extend beyond the borders of this country and see your neighbors, see wine, and I won't to me. Because there are other countries that almost a new refinery cry, but they can even come here and refine. Not need you now sikasem. So here I down go to ADC, the biggest oil refinery in Africa now. Clearly, a choice it's one area or not as a private businessman, not here who said, say, Ordinisika Kushima, Ubenya some faswo. Look at Nigeria over the years, oil and as for more too, but at the end of the day, wine refine capacity to say in as a forum. So I think that you have not a lack of political commitment because at the end of the day, the oil sector, oil and gas sector, are one of the most profitable industry. Profitable not for the nation, but for individuals who happen to be there. And the people are cutting deals upon deals upon deals to the extent that even your friend is saying, bust.
Yeah, bust.
I said that, for say young people a reserve in times of crisis and then as a for them. for the past best 6-8 years, you know, so what is I say box and Kasa was dealing in your saying buying and selling. The core mandate to ensure so overhaul crude in times of crisis. I'll bet me coming to now they were doing other things. Their core mandate, you know, was jettisoned and they were engaging in a whole lot of transactional activities at the end of the day, you know. Every my individuals no more no beneficiaries of whatever that happened there. And laws now are very sad in such a way, say, and yeah, effective. It may crack it down on anybody until I know the day no obiya the ope. And I know can who be and I am toss on fasugono. And Dr. Ryan, this thing, if you are standing to just store, you make a mistake. A systemic way be a mean who's a man can say a failure or say a dear because it does appear say we haven't seen the need ever added value to raw material of things that we get in this country. So you can go back to gold. Over the years, and me sure says here to gold, Ghana mo 2 years in Gold Coast. Because I was say refinery ben I all ha. It me refine gold that international standard emiti there is none. And then I'm to say some private people we are setting up 1 or 2 we are no crown standard now world. Look for you bet me up at diatum say gold now we refine our honor qualified to be placed at your friend is saying gold at your reserve no. That particular status, no, you need ho. Anti gold, no value addition yet. Society ya ton ya the carbon thing because people are able to make money out of some of these things because the only need daily, quite fast or ya ton and as a phone we are able to cut corners and make money. Then come to cocoa over the years. It has been one of the major backbone of the economy. Because I will say what value addition and they can cocoa. No one is a bottom of crana yade adenu gumuno. Jude factor na wa yaguno enti botono yakra na no MPP lose elections so mo kofie no are you aware say yato aba since 7th January yato aba omo lose no cocoa board ekra Jude we no they yebe here for the next 10 years. Yes, they yebe here for the next 10 years omo kra be gu ho because kwabrane our contract no watua no ho ka na wakọ enti you see the mindset isn't about serving anybody. It is about cutting corners just to save our pocket. And the politics, and so you're cheaping now to the stand, say, and nature greed, and nature arrogance, and nature that inflated ego. So, because I am money making machine. Politics in our part of the world, you know. I am strictly business and money making machine. Nobody
your politicism before we will say all the good things. Emma Ghana for nipa feeling so we are going in, we are very selfless people, we are going to serve. But nipa no kwa Raymond na failure. And then people become more greedy and selfish.
No, I think it's a mistake. I say not say nipa not change. Who is and America say other countries people are making conscious effort to cultivate leaders. Cultivating the next line of leadership does not necessarily mean obiti ready so kasa na say oh yes say there are other key components, values, ethics, integrity, morality. Oh, it's a complex web.
People go through the leadership friends training, leadership courses.
Exactly. And such people at the end of the day no bet me rise to the pinnacle with their convictions intact, money will not shake them. But Obinyo, you see, very often Nipano any leadership foundation be awonimu. When they get spring to the political arena, no kohusi ebia sikabinin kwana kuro hu bida. And we now make culture because of inferiority complex. We always want to attach external things to make us feel proud. And the black man, just or talk kuntain them na man for in the society were feeling accepted, that kind of man. So when people rise to that position, the focus of being a leader ebe secondary. But rather just to prove to people it is only in Ghana where people hold public office and they stand on radio and tell people say because I've made money. Because public service is not an avenue to make money. You understand? So I think that a leadership and a problem because over the years, focus ben you put on leadership. Now no na make same way chiro bi say the United States of America. America first now produce fine gentlemen for president, you know. For the past 4 years coming, and then the next 8 years, you don't see any next line of leadership. And that is the crisis of leadership America is facing right now. And that problem...
So you are saying you said Donald Trump is not a leader now?
Oh, you said Donald Trump, my catcher said, oh no. Donald Trump presidency for the first time, my catcher said, or break the conventional playbook of world politics. Because the guy was an Washington, an outsider, a business person. He had no business in politics. But all of a sudden, you know, because people got tired with America and they're going to war and they're doing this, you know, they felt, okay, let us bring in an outsider. So you cannot add, your friend is saying, Donald Trump to a typical line of American leaders. He's an external person. And so we had the next line where Kamara be unity, Joe Biden by why just say utu anywhere we na Sanders be unity just say we don't see clear cut way and there are other people or metimi aye ni but they are not close because of reason now bad and so the very people mo twa then ho hia u free say free way so be call way so ni nyina no he wanima you can't even see any nipa kan bi o ma baka say nipa we you can trust because first you know Uhu Obama mejina baby out say yes, this is a leader. Uhu Bush be or baby out say yes, this is a leader. Uhu Clinton be or baby. And that crisis, you know, happened presently in Ghana. And that's if you take John Mahama out of the picture now and look at across the political divide, people tooling around in it. Do you see any person you can comfortably say that this person is truly a leader?
Oh, I'm on for Dr. Mahmoud Baumia.
Oh, Dr. Ren, and yeah, man, for see me be sawo say wo across the political divide and what it in a way per president. What here we are show. So it tells you, say, baby, no, people are not looking at core values, the vision. Your friends say Nipano nim diani nyansa, namum wabenya sika, why you exposed, waduru ha, why you say what me wo mache, my better, mena madi we yachi, mena maya say, do sika. When a nation begins to take that particular road trip now, you should know, sir, you are not returning. And that is the crisis Ghana and America are facing at the moment when it comes to the next line of leadership. Maybe in the next 10 years, you could see a lot of young chap who will be ready, but for now, and we don't prioritize leaders, but there should be some kind of way as a country, you know, across the political divide, you know, a certain, first a deliberate effort be build the next line of leaders, inculcating into them that sense of nationalism, that sense of patriotism, honesty, that kind of stuff. Because over the years, and these are things that should be the focus. But trust me, morality is a secondary cry as a mechanism. It's nowhere anywhere close to leadership way table Ghana has to say. Are they a friend a candor? Are they a friend integrity? Are they a friend say sometimes
just say a year leadership traits this one. Oh, can say a year integrity, a year friend saying empathy. Somebody who is a very decisive person, or to me communicating effectively, or to me inspire, or to me motivate, you know. Traits
oh, Dabi. Na some mobile me wasika and I'm a hatcher and I'm a chim and I'm a chain. I oba hatcher and I don't know. I want to radio so 30 years of them about hatcher and then I could see. But I remember Obama time when he was a senator. Ujina baby no kasana wutie people said, this gentleman should be president. And I'm sure that people who followed him, I read his book. And you could see clearly, say, answer now Obama president, no. Now he was a president in the making. And George Bush is the same thing. And then for them. And for me, I think say, if you don't get leadership no right, you will never get other things right. But my catch last night in the KKD come over say very often leaders no ba nipo mu twa mu hia ne nyina no even when the king is naked. And I'm telling you sir, when the king is not wise, you cannot get intelligent followers. Because
Ivan Tobuasi. What do you say? Instead say when the king is naked, what do you say when the king is not wise, no, you not get intelligent people be surrounded with.
No. Now, say your kind of politics na always yes a massa brass say yes and no correct. You can't challenge whatever the person is saying. So we have always we end up building an empire of sycophants and bootlickers who will always be there singing praises and hallelujah choruses, all to the praise of whoever appointed them.
So is that the case in Tina Sebia? When you are speaking sense, the people come in defense and say, oh, because they know, say, the more you speak Ebia, something sensible, they see Sebia is an attack. Yes, oh, attack, they have to come and then fully defend a particular person, a candidate.
Yes, because Nipa no continue hanging on to power, no, or an investment for a group of people. Because you can check the trajectory. Abra Kufuor by president at all the Kufuor boys lost their space in the MPP. The Rollins boys, majority of them lost their space in the NDC. The Atamel's boys, most of them lost their space. Akufo other boys, so by Beji or Modier. So if another person is by Mahama, and also then improve for. So it is always like that. So if you are unable to protect your candidate now or get it out of the space now, you should know say you are done. So very often you see people trying desperately just to ensure that whatever it takes, Biana, as you put this person in place, Sebaya young so your survivor important, Now such a person, can you ever dare to challenge that person even if it's going wrong? And over the years, and I idea about because as president, as a leader, you can't get everything right. We just like any other person. We all have our shortfalls. Then I say for them. But you see, that brings me to the concept. The last time I was telling you why the concept of chief of staff was introduced into the American politics. You copy blindly. We don't know even just because the chief of staff, per the laws, there is a mrabia who actually we define the specific role play in the hierarchy of Widokrano is not mentioned anywhere. But you see the staff on a president like in the Puma. And what he does is that answer a president be free demo piano on the first person president and then so wait me her president name as Colino a 24 a chinanim and son I view be cabinet crowd cabinet. So if say anything America no more from the gatekeepers. Say president he put the gates of the White House now, Ejina, chief of staff so. Because you are the one as a one watching president or in the kind or who's in the chia, so it is your job to protect that particular person. You understand? And that is how it's supposed to be. But over the years, do you see? Normally you don't see those things. You understand? Me ya na my friend Akufo at the time the other buy my friend
Opare.
Yes. We are no your mediator say goro woman or say when you yes you be my parliament on na $1 a man no da come obi. Second in the Japan kan
I say no kan ye.
One day kai me kan say bia kire show we so na we am be show what has happened in this country and Akufo Jan ho akọ. Eya kai me I will tell you about it. Dr. Ren, so I think say you make it that conscious effort. Now you need we can get things right. Kwame Nkrumah by he didn't have a vice president though.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, and Nkrumah now in terms of leadership, now what Timmy are researching, I get engaged to a lot of staff and not also at the world stage because at that time, not even though America was in place, but now it was reforming. Russia was in play, but they were trying to, reassert themselves. China was an emerging force. I also tried to find its place. India and then for them. So Nkrumah, as an ally of all these powerful beginners and as a reformers, was able to pick something from all of them. And there are a lot of things that Kwame Nkrumah and Ghana had. Not even UK any other place kwa no money. I'm told Ghana nya motorway and sana land UK nya motorway.
Yeah, nya motorway and sana UK be nya motorway. Omo dey bypass.
Exactly. So you see, sir, so if the leader now are getting the priorities right, now winning what you want to achieve, what you want at any point in time. I know being a cultural say when you have gold, you need a gold refinery. If you have oil, you need your friend saying you're tall. Oh yeah, sa I remember Abraham Muhammad sa good body by there were a lot of speculations and a whole lot of stuff and I'm for and I make sometimes you know politics and it is not always about saying nipa na me party you know I'm going after the person because it's one of the best decisions I want making during his time we but man for adwen ko because Dr. Ren Ghana ye gold coast ye ton gold I know the day gold near kwa koton aba companies no mo cotton ya so cotton a anya hwe forest na won sabeka no fa 80% bra Ghana do say na no mo de ba kroma say
oh there be omo famba no mo angasa omo ya hoho for ne beto e ti be de no wan sa de aba
yes cocoa the same thing and my men country why cocoa ya say last year kufu ado penso cocoa ne te ba form no cocoa anti ama form cocoa no mo de fa kwati kwan so cotton abra
almost smuggle they call other countries konya price kese
I'm for kwati kwan so cotton say be ya emma cocoa board books because John Mahama buy o medua cocoa e ba na say now even the first quarter way sika ya nya China ya nya ne last year nyina John Mahama be wa bia cocoa amana so
there be
o there na asesa the people were selling the cocoa outside official channels and where the money went you know it's up to them and I am calling on Yoko say omo pa omo nsha ase ende na omo investigate the cocoa tons na nya in the past be way no they will find where those cocoa maybe a coy.
Hey,
it's as simple as that. Now, some are making even common sense enough incentive for anybody to begin investigation into this matter. And Dr. Ren, gold now American gold now man for a tongue and I'm high na maun. No, say okay, let me create a central pool. I know the day, you know, gold no upesa wo ton bia ya na yeto. Ni nyina amra a central pool. Ya koton asika na beba kuruma sei
amanfo say say be ma galamsey dodo no kra baso because amanfo say we ye kra na enye a friend say any novel idea bia but it will encourage more people to engage in a ye galamsey.
This is a two separate thing. Galamsey no all ye na first or no na okwa koton ofa kwati kwan so akwa koton and go do kra obi abeto any say ne official channel you need to sell to you cannot go outside on your own because Ghana hayati Ghana ni ya chill now so cocoa e koton abonten e be chill because Ghana ni bia ni ho apart from cocoa board entimi koton cocoa abonten sana gold na ye say and the cocoa board sika no apart from say adwembo ne beba aban ni tim say ofa kwati kwan so akoton no wa keep bi no we ya den gold no sika nyina beba kroma say and that is the last time I was telling you said the same way no let us look at timber.
Yenye timber board.
A timber board. Now you're making sure that apart from that timber board, no, nobody export timber in this country. You can mention other stuff. That is how
because timber board now boboso no. Idea a very very I mean a novel idea pa because one of the things they say you timber and you twako and so you nya ho fa so ofa a friend is saying now no make say in 2020 the Chinese furniture industry in Kwano, they got over $50 billion from the China furniture industry. And so enye nua bebriya ni twa de koho na roastery ni twa koho na parliamentarians na wo makotena se yenkoton konwam free China no wo betena so miwa no odum sapele mahogany ne rosewood ani timber ye kromo ani ye twa ne ntie ntimi nya carpenter for mo nyem konwam fa ma ye mpanyim for but ni akwakoto furnitures efri China na wo mu nya sika na ye nya sika nti timber board ne de I think say something which it makes a lot of sense.
Yes, if only we do. And the oya sa nema na etimi take care of first no kwati kwan amanfo fa so mkoton nema o man ne we japade but amanfo kwa koton sika no unhu China for timi ba ha betwa rosewood no mo de de airport ye de ko ye fence ye habo now I export it sikano makroma even gold in na sefo not ye no nyina na omo ye no nyina ya shepe nyina de ko mo kwa ansa na mo akoye de ombeye
unim so obi be ka kire me na eye me ne Slim Buster na yedi nkomo wo Slim Buster ho ana obi ba ye se timber no a ye ka no amanfo tu timber ni mu na de gold no ahwea ni nyina de egu log nim no ma export it into wadwene be ye se eye timber no na yedi ko but ya de moba ne ahwea ni nyina no sisi de omo wo hye no ha o omo de omo
yes yes because I was sure Ohana when he be good in as if what you be not here because there are no mechanisms in place. I am making sure say yeah check some of these things. So if these are regulatory bodies let us only hope that they will do the right thing. For me, you may have issues with people there, but the thing is at the end of the day, are they doing the right thing? And dollar stabilizing kakra ekoi in the interim, no, that is what is giving us relief. And if we are able to bring in other commodities like gold and like timber and other stuff, at the end of the day, no, and also think about building a refinery, a world-class refinery. Refine gold, no ha. I benya certification. I wait media Korea be international market in gold, international market, you know, or met for the past years, gold with free chrome but anywhere. I qualify to be accepted into any of the international way. And now, quite into a mokoton, then they will take it to another refinery and send on Baba. Because for gold not to be accepted, you know. Even baby, I'll go to no class. I watch the source, you know, should be traceable. Baby, I win your gold no free, then I say for you now. But I want for a galam say, oh, then coach baby, I win your gold free. So why now the Kakomano, not the Kokande Bay, and you will go to the but all reserve empty. So I think that it's a wake-up call for us. Man, who said Johnson man no modern no kasa or better for me by some of these things, you know, it go beyond kasa because in the past and you have to the chain way. I think there should be a deliberate government policy. Or the CEO alone cannot do anything. There should, President Mahama in 2024 a promise say about revival, your friend is saying, and I'm aware say in 2016 there were efforts. Ananka oh yeah their revival. Now there were crude crowd no makoto when we brabegu no be refine. But unfortunately, yen nuanom ba yo mbasisa ni nyina koton ye. Yan chenni for ombeton ni nyina. So I just hope said that promise, not that commitment will make here no. This time round, no. Ebe ye adwuma. Now once again, that Kwame Nkrumah vision no say Ghana Benya refinery no say tall way to me general so trust me that other African countries are rely on us to refine crude. I said we pens no China for babesi ebi wo ha say so we aware.
Yeah, and babesi a friend say Sentio a year oil refinery.
Yes. Sad deal no air shots and some it's whole lot but if you are a private person bet me about the refinery at me yamana. Why can't we do the same thing when we know say the benefit that comes because crude you know so refinery there are other things I was saying you're free more.
There's a lot of things that when you're free you're crude in him, yeah.
Exactly, which means that if you are not refining you know what you're losing. So I think that this time round, you know, blame game no akwakwada. Now the new focus, the new narrative no must gear towards how niama na yebu ya nigusu in the past ayanye ni ye nyina no. You better try na ya ni just to make sure say all these sectors never tap into because not the day you know. See a person you build it or minor. We need economic stability. And where would that come